Let me tell you something that really chaps my ass. Hey, I'm Billy Burns. Let me tell you what really chaps my ass. You know, I live in Seattle. I live in the north end of the city. And the worst part about living in Seattle, other than the stupid hippies that live here, but you can mostly just brush them off, is the shitty traffic. You know, you can ignore hippies protesting, but you can't ignore 10,000 cars stacked up on I-5 when you're trying to get to work. You can't ignore that shit. And it sucks. It takes away part of your life. You know, there's an hour of your life gone at least once a day. My days are 23 hours long. You know, I got 5% of a day. You know, when you take an hour out of it, I mean, there's 5% of your life flushed down the toilet like a big steaming three-coiler. It's gone because you sat there. If I didn't have Sirius XM radio in my truck, I would get out and start smashing people's windows with my tire iron. And I do. I fantasize about it. I mean, I see all these douchebags on the freeway, and they got their Prius, and they're, like, sitting there. And they got their NPR on. And then they got a big old sticker, I voted for Obama twice and you're racist. And then they got goddess and coexist. Well, you know that C at the start of the coexist? That's a Muslim crescent. And then there's a Jewish thing in the middle. Those two things don't coexist. I don't know if you've read any newspapers or listened to the radio at all. Those two things don't coexist. Ever. Never have. Probably never will. The reason this sucks so much is because the government purposely, on purpose, and I'm not some tinfoil-headed conspiracy dude, but I look at what's going on here. There's one freeway running north and south, and there's one on the east side, and they're both too crowded. We need another one, and it needs to be just for trucks, big old semi-trucks. And they apparently, I just did some research on the internet before doing this segment, there has been plans to build this thing since 1968, and it's not built. Now we're building a $4 billion tunnel to replace a bridge that didn't need replacing. We're building a big, stupid floating bridge to accommodate a floating train. I'm waiting for that. That's going to be awesome, watching that train go blub, 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 blub in the middle of Lake Washington. And it's not going to work. I mean, I'm in construction. This is not going to work. Floating trains don't work. Oh, it'll be like groundbreaking, man. We can get high and ride the floating train all the way to the bottom of Lake Washington. Yeah, what a trip, man. We'll coexist down there. No, air-breathing animals and underwater don't coexist. They didn't before, they don't today, and they won't in the future. Drowning will remain drowning, and trains won't float. And government can't make stuff work, especially really hard, complicated, difficult, technical stuff. They could not create a website to sell Obamacare. And then when they did, Obamacare didn't work. The bug-riddled piece of shit website that sold the felonious, crappy product itself didn't work. But it's a law, you gotta buy it. Because if you write the right sequence of shit on a piece of paper and stamp it with government approved, it'll fix everything. Because somewhere out there, there's a magic combination of legislative words that will make the sick heal, will make the earthbound fly, will make the blind see, and will make the lame and halt walk on water. No, probably not. But anyway, this easy and obvious solution to Seattle traffic, which is aggravated even more by all the empty government buses running up and down the freeway, spewing diesel fumes and creating that global warming, and they call that green. It's green because it's a government bus. And if you look at the National Transportation Safety Board, you'll see that light rail trains actually emit more carbon per passenger than said passenger's car. So I don't think we're actually fixing that global warming by doing this, especially when nobody wants to ride the goddamn train and there's no money to build it. Just build me another goddamn freeway and get the semi-trucks over where they belong on a dangerous goods route bypassing the city, and then we can drive to work in our regular American cars and do our real jobs and pay too much taxes to a bloated bureaucracy to run around and oppress us. That's all I ask. Is that too much to ask? From my fucking local, state, city, and county government? Is it too much to ask? Could you just do one thing right and then get the fuck out of my life forever? Thank you. That's all I